Let's go to London now, where Europe is also experiencing a surge in COVID-19 infections. Many countries here have announced measures to try and bring infections numbers down. This is ahead of the Christmas holiday. SABC News correspondent Laura Makin-Iserwood joins me now. Laura, let's just, firstly talk about a lot of people right now are preparing for the holidays. Others are even saying, there's no point in inviting family or friends because of Omicron and they're staying at home. Is it as gloomy as it is in some parts of the country there?
Well, yeah, as you say, people are trying to adjust their plans now since this latest surge in the coronavirus variants that have been emerging across the nation. Of course, we've recorded another 90,000 COVID infections here in the United Kingdom, just down slightly on yesterday's recorded total of 92,000. And even Her Majesty the Queen is contemplating a different Christmas this year. She's decided to stay in Windsor rather than making the traditional trip up to Sandringham. So it's not just the regular members of the public that are thinking about what they might do. However, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson has today come out and said that he's not going to introduce any new restrictions before Christmas Day. But they are saying, be careful, take lateral flow tests before you spend time with friends and family and in big groups, of course. But they're saying that they're looking at the data very closely, hour by hour, day by day, to see what is happening with COVID infections and specifically with the Omicron variant of COVID-19. They say there isn't enough data yet on that to really tell how severe the illness might be if you contract it. And that's going to be the key, really, keeping hospitalizations down, and then obviously as a result of that, keeping death tolls low as well. And that's going to be a real measure in terms of what ministers and officials here decide to do moving beyond Christmas. And it's going to be somewhat of a relief then to those who last year were really angry about not being able to see family, especially around this time, given the the lockdown measures that were put in place there in the UK. But talk to us about how this move by some other countries of banning the United Kingdom, from traveling into their countries, how that is affecting, things on the ground, and what the Prime Minister has had to say about that, because some people are saying that this is impacting on them visiting some family. Absolutely, and it's again a sort of mirroring of the restrictions that the United Kingdom has placed on other countries in recent months and across the whole of this pandemic as well, isn't it? So for now, Brits aren't allowed into France. There's also extra testing that's in place to go into other parts of Europe as well. For many people, we've kind of been being used to not going on holiday and planning trips abroad, but we know that the ski industry is really going to suffer again. Last year, a lot of trips were cancelled after the French mountains were shut down and the ski season there was called off completely, and many British companies that book holidays out to those locations will be really struggling now. But as you say, people are trying to take things in their stride a bit. Last year, Christmas was called off quite close to the final day on the 25th, and that left a lot of people, particularly in big cities where COVID cases and infection rates were high, away from their friends and family. So at the moment, it feels like people are making their own judgments, putting in their own measures to try to prevent them catching coronavirus, to try to make sure that they can see some friends and family, at least if they live in this country this time round.
Laura, stay safe. Thank you so much for that update. That was SABC correspondent Laura Makin-Iserwood, who was coming to us live from London.